myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Ends his final game with a walk-off single.
Here's a drive to left. That one is long gone.
Welcome to the Long Gone Podcast. It's me, Michael, and with me as always, that's man.
What up?
Steve Ford.
How's it going, man?
It's going, man.
It's going. Another day. A little
Another
chilly.
day in the suck.
Another day in the suckies. It's gotten chillier here. I think you've got, the gales of November, shall we say, and the snow. We got a little bit of snow, like a whole inch here. So, just putzing along here.
Putzing along.
Tell you it's not chilly, though, is that hot stove. It's about that time, right? Throw another log on the fire.
Yeah, it's crazy because people are already talking free agency. You know, when you actually Google free agency, like, oh, when's free agency start for MLB? It's already now, but the deals don't really get done until winter meetings.
No, and I know the GM meetings, I think, kicked off this week here. But yeah, the real fun begins here in about a month from now when the winter meetings, start going. So, yeah, you're not going to see much shit happening until that point. So,
nah, you ain't going to see fucking shit
ain't gonna
happening.
See shizat.
So, of those listening, this is going to be our free agent prediction show. You know, we usually do it a couple of weeks into November. But, last year I remember we were actually a little behind the eight ball because by the time 2 weeks, 3 weeks in November when we actually did the show, people started like signing.
Happened, yeah.
So it's absolutely crazy. So if you go to bovadasportsbook.com, the odds of who is going to go where, I mean, they're going to have actually some prop bets of what's going to happen as well. So that's always fun. I mean, last year, the biggest free agency was Soto.
So it was the Juan Soto sweepstakes. Then before that, it was Ohtani. So,
and I'd say the biggest move this offseason is where's Tarek Skubal going to go? And that's not even a free agent move. That's just it's going to have to be a trade, if anything.
Yep, exactly. It's
or an extension by the Tigers.
Well, we all know that isn't happening, but
no, that shit's never.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be, where's he going to go? What's going to happen? What are the odds? Go on Bovada. I'm sure they're going to have a prop bet there of which team do you think it's going to go to? Is it going to be the Mets? What's going to happen? Those big spenders or the field or whatever. So, that's definitely going to be a tops list. And like you said, it's not even a free agent. It's just, is he going to be traded or get an extension? So, yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at, a lot of these deals that we're going to talk about, and there's going to be some money on the table, but a lot of these people are going to have to consider what's going to happen beyond the 26th season. So, a lot of deals, a lot of people like Kyle Tucker and them, they're trying to like scoot in right away. Like, let's get my deal fucking done with before
this new collective bargaining agreement happens. Yeah.
Because it might be a strike, right? So these people want to at least, they want to make sure they're good. And you're going to see two things. You're going to see ridiculous contracts in this free agency period. And you're going to see teams, remember, I think it was last year, the year before, we're like, okay, guys, you can start signing free agents now. I felt like there was some
today.
Going on.
For sure.
Come on.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years, I feel like there's been some sort of collusion going on.
Yeah,
you look at Pete Alonso. You think his market would have been,
great example.
This past season would have been great, and instead he had to go back and settle for a deal just with the Mets with an opt out option after a year. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely feel like there's some owner collusion going on there,
and it's mostly with the cheap owners that don't want to pay the money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So a lot of them, a lot of them just don't want to pay the money to actually buy the free agents. So they're going to go to the lower tiers. So when we're talking to free agents today, I mean, you're going to see where's this team, where's that team. It's like, well, we're listing the top free agents at each position.
Correct.
We're not listing,
all
Adam Frazier, who's not a big free agent, or you know what I mean?
Yep.
Some of
those guys. Yeah, with ours, it's the names, the people that are household names, so to speak. You're not going to hear the littler guys, because if it did that, then we'd probably be recording here for a few hours, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would be. No, we absolutely would be. And every year, Steve and I, we have this little mini competition, which I feel like in the future we're gonna have to raise the stakes. Like,
dude, we have to.
Winner's gotta buy someone dinner, or winner's gotta, I mean, you and I are the same team. We love the same teams, so we couldn't wear. So other podcasts, it's be like, okay, what college you go to, you got to wear that gear. You got to wear, like say you're a Packer fan and I'm a Lions fan, but you and I love like literally the same teams.
The same teams. Yeah,
I think is actually kind of an anomaly.
It is. Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's not too crazy because we live in the same state, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, that's crazy that they all like the same teams. Like, there's not one team we don't really like different. We even down to the college teams, we love Michigan State.
Michigan State. Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, if you were a girl, we'd probably be fucking.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Okay, so
without condoms, because we don't use condoms. So, there you go.
Original work condom. Love you, Ma.
Anyway,
okay, we got to talk about the black mark. I mean, we're going into this. I mean, this is Steve and I seen this coming. If you listen to our past shows, we've said betting is way too close to baseball. It's way too close to sports.
Close.
I mean, we've seen it come out in we've seen it come out in basketball with Chauncey Billups, and we've seen it at the lower levels in college sports, coaches, players, everything. Now, Steve, we have two players in Major League Baseball, pitchers who actually are pretty decent pitchers. Yep. One, maybe the best closer in the league, Emmanuel Clase. I call him Clase. And Luis Ortiz, I think he was at the Angels at the time.
Yep.
What do you know about the situation? And I just give me your little cliff note pitch, not even pitch, just cliff note of like your thoughts and feelings on this.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely they had it coming. I think two of them, the feds have indicted these two pitchers on alleged sports betting and sort of a money laundering type scheme here. Basically, fraud, essentially, influencing their contests, with what they're doing with their pitching. And I like you said, I think this is I think pitching MLB and betting, and like any sport, they've gotten in bed with each other, and now they're having to face it. And I think MLB is trying to make some changes on their side. They're imposing a limit on pitch level markets. Like they're implementing a $200 limit. I don't know if you saw this. They're basically cracking down on these limits. So that's not as enticing to the players, but yeah, this is crazy. It puts a dark cloud over the sport, and it really it throws everything into context of what's fixed and what isn't at this point. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you look back on, the Black Sox scandal, the 1919 series. I mean, you look at those guys, the 8 guys that went down. Predominantly, Shoeless Joe was a big one. Let's go back to Pete Rose. His banned in '89 for betting on games while managing the Cincinnati Reds. So that was a black mark. His is a little bit different, but still. I mean, I think as we get into this gambling era, we're like, okay, you shouldn't just bet at all on your sport. It's different if you're betting on football and stuff, and you're a golf player, you're a golf guy or whatever, but you shouldn't bet on your own sport. So, even though I do think he should be in the Hall of Fame, but if it does ever come out that he was changing the game while he played, like, fixed any games, then yeah, keep him out. And then I'm going to slaughter this guy's name, but, Tuchapita Marcano, he received a lifetime ban last year for gambling, including games involving his own team. That was kind of nuts. That was swept under the rug in the media because he wasn't a big player at the time, but he's gone. And then Jenry Mejia received a lifetime ban after failing 3 drug tests for performance-enhancing substances in 1 year. So he's the first known player to be banned from baseball while playing and taking PEDs, but specifically we're talking about recent suspensions and indictments. So Emmanuel Clase was indicted, Luis Ortiz was indicted, and they were potentially rigging games. If you throw so many balls, you get $5,000 a pop,
right?
Things like that. There was 3 players in 24 that were suspended. for 1 year for betting on baseball games, but not games that they were in. And that's Jay Groom. We remember Jay Groom.
Yep.
Jose Rodriguez and Andrew Salfrank.
Okay.
And they were suspended for 1 year. But Jay Groom being the best out of those guys, I remember, I think he was drafted by the Royals or the Red Sox. But aside from that, they were suspended for 1 year for betting on baseball games, but not games they were in. But the Clase and the Ortiz case is actually interesting because it shows that Ortiz was kind of the ringer. He was the guy to kind of facilitate all this. And Clase was almost like the guy to go out there. Now, if you look at Clase's contract, which I'm looking at it right now, I mean, the dude makes kind of killer money, right? I mean, the guy makes insane money. 5 years, $20 million that he signed in 22.
Yep.
Right. And that's insane, right? I mean,
right.
So people want to know, like, well, why would he do this? And there was a mobster named Michael Francis. He's still out there. I think he's part of the Gambino family. And he says they used to get athletes all the time in various sports. And what happens is, they think this is what happened to Chauncey Billups and some of those other guys. They're degenerate gamblers, right? And they end up going and trying to bet on these games, or trying to, play poker. Maybe it's roulette or whatever, like these legal casinos, whatever. And they're bad gamblers, and they rack up a debt. And the mafia is like, listen, and a lot of times these games are rigged anyways, so that's kind of a no-win situation. They're like, listen, you owe us X amount of dollars, and the athlete's like, I can't pay that off. They're like, okay, you know what? I'm feeling a little bad for you. This is what we're gonna do.
Let's do this,
right.
Yeah,
and then you go in. We'll say Chauncey Billups. Don't play Scoot Henderson for the first half, right? Or maybe it's somebody like Clase. Give me 3 balls. Throw 3 balls to who Jose Altuve, okay, and that will signal that you're getting one, you got to signal that you're working with them, and 2, it helps with prop bets, helps with parlays, things like that. So I think a lot of this is mafia related, and with the of the NBA players, Steve, last week with Cash Patel coming out and nailing some of the NBA players, I will not be surprised if in Major League Baseball, NFL, all of them are involved as well.
Oh yeah. No, that wouldn't shock me one bit. This is, I think we said it, and a lot of people have said it. This is, it's like a script for a movie. It feels like, it's basically writing itself.
Have you watched the movie Blue Chips?
I have not seen Blue Chips in quite some time. That was the movie with Anthony Hardaway was in that, right?
Yeah, man. Shaq, Nick Nolte, great movie. Great movie, but aside from it, aside from how they were able to get recruits into that program, which it was loosely based on true events, but it was still out there. There was guys that were point shaving in basketball, and every sport has some kind of scandal. I mean, the NBA with Tim Donahue,
Tim Donahue,
the ref there, the mobbed up ref. Steve, you and I have always said, gambling is way too close to sports.
Way too close.
And you find out they're like general partners. I mean, they get like profits from NFL. They get profits from Major League Baseball because, I mean, you go to Little Caesars Arena, they got a sports book built in. You know what I mean? You go to some of these arenas, they got sports books built into the arenas, the stadiums. You know what I mean? So, my dad and I were talking the other day, and we were saying, in order for this to kind of like stop, you almost got to tear it down before you can build it back up. And if it ever comes out, I mean, Steve, say it comes out that there's a massive gambling problem in baseball, and we'll say football, for instance, NBA, all that. What are your thoughts as a fan? Not as a podcaster, but as a fan, what would you even be involved anymore?
No.
As involved?
No, I don't think so. And you've noticed it even with me when it comes to the college sports in general, not necessarily the gambling side, but with the transfer portal and the NIL and all this stuff with how corrupt the NCAA is. I have little interest in anything NCAA related right now, especially on the football side. And it's, similar if it comes out, basketball, if they're, it's all part of, or any sport in general, it's just one big, scandal that they're all, mafia, betting, and the teams are all together on this. It's, I'll definitely turn me off to watching it, and I'll definitely take a step back.
I mean, you're a guy that you're a guy that invests your money every year. Well, it is an investment with buying streamers now, but with streaming now, but you get FanDuel or Bally Sports, or you get MLB, you get the MLB package as well, and there's other stuff you buy, and I tell you, man, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I mean, if anything is rigged, then it's like, why give my money to people that don't give a shit, right? I mean, if they're going to cheat and scandal and everything else, what's the point, And as fans of the game, and and you and I we've long mentioned this, that just gambling has been too close, and it's something that they really need to get out. Now, it's weird because, okay, so federally, Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz are indicted, but at the same time, MLB is going to do their own investigation before they can ban a player. So we might see this kind of play out a lot differently. I'm interested to see where the players' union wants to get behind this. Are they going to back these two? Or is it like, yeah, you guys are done, you're going to be blacklisted? Because baseball has been known to blacklist players before they do internal investigations.
Right. Man, that's tough. If I was the players, I'd just say I'd wash my hands of it. I'd wash my hands of the players, and that's just my side of it. But I think I care too much about the purity of the game, I guess.
Yeah, I'm the same.
To look in the other way. But if I was Players Association, I'd say, all right, they're done. We'll we're not going to fight the ban or anything like that. If that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's one. It's like sacrifice two just to save everything.
Right? Exactly. Try and cut the head off the snake to try and kill it. Essentially.
And the biggest problem, I mean, and why this is big news, is because Emmanuel Clase is a big time pitcher. Luis Ortiz is pretty good too, but I mean, Clase is like the top in the one of the top closers in the league.
Dude, yeah.
And the fact that they were like figuring something was going on before the postseason, and I think the FBI gave MLB like, hey, this is what we're going to come out with probably in the next few months. So
do what you need to do. Yeah.
So suspend this guy, or let the team know like it's best if they separate themselves.
Yep. Yeah.
Which sucks because Guardians needed his arm.
I totally did.
Bad. Shit the bed bad on that. But
shit the bed bad. Which, it comes down, you talked about his contract in a little bit. Is it just like, because he was making good money, right? Is this just like an addiction? Because I've heard some gamblers talk about that, where it doesn't matter how much money you make, you're just addicted to the actual gambling part of it and seeing what the actual playing. It doesn't matter if it's if you're making $50,000 a year or $50 million a year. You're just addicted to the actual act of gambling.
Yeah, and that's sad if that's the case. I mean, say that these guys are just addicted. It's like with people like Chauncey Billups, you're ruining your legacy. With people like Clase, who you're ruining a legacy. I mean, not to mention any personal shit.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is very sad.
It's very sad. So we're going to be, obviously, you and I will talk about it the more it comes down. Really, it's hard to sit there and keep going more off of it because we don't know all the facts. We do know they were indicted. We do know the basics of what they were betting, but we don't know the inside. We don't know if it was mob related. I'm just guessing that it was.
Yeah,
because I can't fathom somebody losing millions just to compensate for $5,000 a pop. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So
not at all. Not at all.
So that's sad. But in other news,
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to transition from that, isn't it?
Baseball's fucked. In other news,
hey, the Padres made a move, didn't they? All right.
Hey, they brought in a guy. I don't know how to think about this move. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. They bring in Craig Stammen.
Yeah.
Former pitcher in their organization, wasn't like an amazing pitcher. I mean, he was not a bad pitcher either, right? I mean, it wasn't like this guy that came in and just like, oh man, he was a dog shit player, but man, he could be a hell of a manager. I mean, he was 55-44 in his career, 3.66 ERA. Not a bad guy at all. 743 strikeouts. Pitched his last for the Padres. Actually came up with Washington Nationals at 41, and then he retired in 22. Steve, how do you like this signing by the Nationals to be their next manager, to helm a team?
And it's a rookie manager. It harkens me back to Brad Ausmus. When Brad Ausmus took over, a Tigers team that was on the cusp of winning a World Series. This team, the Padres have a lot of talent on this team, and to hand over the helm to was he 41 years old? Like you, I think I'm a little, I'm 50-50 on it. It could go really well, but it could also go south. And I'm reading some tweets that Albert Pujols, his second interview with the Padres is like 9.5 hours. So they were really in on Pujols here, and then they turned turned a bit and decided to go with Stammen. So I don't know. Rookie managers on a veteran team it makes me a little apprehensive.
Do you think Pujols they were going to hire him, but he was like, "Dude, this is taking forever."
Yeah,
are you kidding me or not?
Hey, shit or get off the pot, all right? Is this going to happen or not?
Yeah. Are we doing this or not?
Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, 9.5 hours. Maybe that was part of the interview. Like, how long can he last? Like, we'll keep this bitch overnight if we have to. And if he's ready to back out, we're going to be like, sorry, you're not the guy. But, going back to what you said, it's another rookie manager. They've already tried this with Jace Tingler. Jace Tingler was supposed to be their guy. Right, he ended up with a 116 and 106 record, not very good. You couldn't get him all across a hump, so they're like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna try an old reliable. We're gonna try Bob Melvin. Bob Melvin, he's been in the game like a Dusty Baker, a Tony La Russa. Let's try Bob Melvin. Bob didn't seem like he was that excited to be the Padres.
No.
I think he himself stepped down, and then before he moved on, and then they tried Mike Schilt, who was another guy, right? Kind of a parallel move to Bob Melvin a little bit. And that didn't work. So here we are. I mean, they even had Pat Murphy back in 2015. Yeah. And I feel at this point, the Padres don't know what they want.
Nope.
They're like, they've tried every single way to make this.
It's like a management issue where they just aren't really sure of the direction that they want to go with the team here as far as leadership.
Yeah,
it's great. It's
like,
we're gonna try a veteran. No, that didn't work. We're gonna go this route. All right, let's go with the unproven again. This should be fun. All right, buckle up.
This should be fun. It's like close your eyes and throw a dart, and whoever they land, I think that's how they're picking their guys now. They probably land on Isaac
it
Ian,
is.
And they're like, this guy's a PR nightmare, not Isaac Ian. We can't do this. Like, fuck that. I would have went with Albert Pujols because if we're going with first-time managers, Kurt Suzuki went to the Angels, which you and I last week said it might be kind of like a ploy, not a ploy, but a strategy to
get the
Japanese players over.
Japanese players in there.
You and I will be talking come our free agent predictions that there's a few of them that are pretty damn good this year. Coming in. One that they're saying could be the next Ohtani. So that's going to be an interesting one too. But
great. Yeah. If that one goes to the Angels then again too, you can have a player that's a fantastic player that leads them to nothing and then goes and wins a World Series for the Dodgers then. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, speaking of gambling and stuff too, when we talked about Ohtani, that was kind of a thing that was swept under the rug. And he was MLB knew he was going to go forward. As being a star to the league. So, and that kind of went a little different.
Quick. We got to find a way. All right, we're going to conduct an investigation. It was the interpreter. Totally the interpreter.
It's
Zippe, all right?
Yeah.
No, we can't. Yeah, no one touch Ohtani here. I still think there's something a little shady there, but
everything's shady. I mean, we've been talking. I guess that's the theme of the podcast: shadiness. Brought to you by Stephen Mike,
by Stephen and FanDuel. No,
and FanDuel. Yeah, he's not a sponsor. Yeah, and FanDuel,
who's not a sponsor, but hey,
final verdict on the Stammen thing. You giving it the old thumbs up or thumbs down?
Dude, I'm giving him the old thumbs down. It's a.
Yeah,
thumbs down. Yeah. All right.
Fucking shit all over it, dude.
Yeah, they're gonna be looking. Yeah, survey says they're finding someone new in about 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, Bovada Sports didn't even have this as being one of the top kind of candidates for the job. I mean, I think a lot of them thought, it's gonna be somebody that has a little bit more credentials, or maybe somebody who was a former player, which Stammen is, but somebody that a little bit But
more higher pedigree,
really,
like a Pujols.
Like a Pujols, which would have been great. Or Sandy Alomar Jr. has been dying to get a fucking manager job.
Yeah, he's
always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Uh-huh. Oh my god!
But Stammen, I mean, Padres really like Stammen. I mean, they came out and said,
the Padres, all right?
yeah, well, good for them.
Yeah.
The Padres love him. I mean, they said they really like the guy, but he needs to win over the locker room. I mean, that's the big thing. Machado leads that locker room, and you got stars like Tatis in there as well. And this is a team that needs to figure out what they're going to do in free agency, what they're going to do in the offseason to get back to the World Series and actually win it. Because if they can't win with this team, then they're going to break it down and try all again. And the next guy going in there is going to be like, fuck free agency. We're going to build from the draft. We're going to build from our prospects, which a lot of teams do. I think the Padres had buyer's remorse, when they brought in some of these other guys, like even Juan Soto, and it was like, holy shit, our payroll's almost $1 billion, guys. What are we going to do? And they're like, okay, we'll go halfway in. And
we'll shed it. We'll get rid of Soto here, and shed a little bit here and see what we can do.
Yeah, and I think it helped that people like Tatis came up from the system, was really good, and then you get somebody like Jackson Merrill, who's really good, and they're like, you know what, we're going to go kind of like the Yankees do. We're going to buy some free agents, but at the same time, we are going to build within. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Aaron Judge is a homegrown talent. Derek Jeter was a homegrown talent.
Jorge
Mariano Rivera.
Bernie Williams. They were all homegrown talent.
I mean, these guys are always buying in free agency, but at the same time, some of their best players have always been homegrown talent. So that's where it's at. So, Steve, taking that into effect, keep that in mind, everybody. We are doing our free agent predictions now. Steve,
I feel like we should get a song.
There should be like a song in there, like free agent predictions, maybe a little Lionel Richie.
Oh, that'd be dope. Yeah, a little Luther Vandross or something. Ooh, free agent prediction show. Where are they gonna go? Anyway,
we'll go so we can both not die out of sheer going down. We'll go position for position. Steve, you give me your catcher prediction. I'll give you my catcher's prediction, and then we'll go back and forth like that. I'll set it all up, though, okay? There's not a lot of great catchers coming out in this free agency. I think that's going to happen the next 2 years when you start seeing a little bit, some of these, Patrick Bailey's, maybe the Adley Rutschman, some of these guys that will hit the free agency potentially. But right now, you got some older catchers. You have JT Realmuto, who was coming from the Phillies, and then you got Victor Caratini. Right? Those are some good names, solid catchers. Steve, where do you have Realmuto going, and where do you have Victor Caratini going?
Well, if you're going to notice a trend with my free agents, I have a lot of people going back home, whether it's their original home or back with the team that they were with this past year. Realmuto, I'm looking on Bovada right now, and they have the Phillies still has the third best odds to win the World Series at plus 1100. I feel like they're going to get the band back together, and one of those key pieces is JT Realmuto, and I think he's going to re-sign with the Phillies.
Nice.
As far as Victor Caratini. Twins have gone through a massive rebuild, trading off assets at the deadline. I feel like they got to do something, and they can get a nice serviceable catcher with Victor Caratini. So I have Victor Caratini going to the Twins.
It's great. I mean, Twins have needed somebody to fill the pitcher or the catcher role, right?
For a long time.
For a long time, this guy coming back from the Astros, he knows how to catch. I think he's overtaken Maldonado to be the main guy with the Astros, so it's going to be interesting to see if they re-sign him. I don't know, but with Realmuto, I'm going to go. I think, my strategy and what I think, if it was me, but what I think the Phillies are going to do, Steve, they're going to try to re-sign Kyle Schwarber. They're going to try to bid on Kyle Tucker. They're going to be in on some big free agents because they are so desperate to get back to the World Series.
When Dombrowski gets desperate, you better look out.
Hey, you and I know Dombrowski. This guy's going to do what he can, but the guy doesn't have endless money. I mean, they're already paying Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. I mean, they got some big names in there. What they're paying their pitching staff. Right. I mean, they're out there, right? They're out there. So I think the guy that's going to be sacrificed is Realmuto.
Okay.
And I think he's going to go to the Padres.
Okay.
I think I think in Stammen's view, he's a former pitcher. I think he's going to look at it from who we're going to get, because I think they're going to go young pitchers and a mix of young and free agent pitchers, and they're going to have they're going to need a guy that knows how to catch those games and know how to call those games. I think Real Muto is the perfect guy. The guy has been long since a really good player in Major League Baseball, coming over from the Marlins, goes with Philly, has been just a workhorse from them for behind the plate. I think the Padres are just tired of going through these stopgap guys. Your Gary Sanchez's, they want to move on from that. So I think the Padres are kind of a realistic option for JT Realmuto. Caratini, I think it's going to be the Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Rays need a catcher. They're going to need a guy, an experienced guy who knows how to catch young arms. And that's what Caratini does. And the Rays are going to move forward with young arms. They might get back McClanahan next year, who's still young. But I think Caratini is the perfect guy to kind of lead that next wave of Rays pitchers for sure.
I got you.
Steve, first baseman this year. We got Pete Alonso. We got Josh Naylor. We got Ryan O'Hearn. We got Luis Ariz. Paul Goldschmidt, who I squeezed in there because he's a former big name, even though he's kind of on the lower scale for free agents. And I got Rhys Hoskins, Josh Bell, and newly a Japanese player who's probably going to come over is Kazuma Okamoto. Steve, tell me your free agent predictions for first base. Where do you got him going?
Well, starting with the polar bear, I am having a Pete Alonso. Look, he's the face of the Mets. He's been the face of the Mets for a long time. I think they're finally, realized he had a nice, really good season. This past season, they're going to realize, that they're missing a good thing here, and they're going to pay him up a little bit. So I have Pete Alonso going back to the Mets. All right, Josh Naylor, great pickup. I've said before, from the Diamondbacks to the Mariners. He had a good thing going there that second half of the season. I think he hit upper 280s, right around 290. Great playoff performance there for him. I have him going back to Seattle as well, re-signing with the Mariners. Ryan O'Hearn, similar to Ryan O'Hearn, come on down. I have you going to the San Diego Padres. I feel like it'd be a good fit. He'd be a nice player on that team, mixing a little bit of veteran there to go with the veterans and the younger guys. Luis Ariz, I feel like this guy's moving around a lot, from the Twins to, just bouncing around the league a bit. I have him going to Texas. I feel like he'd be a good fit there with the Rangers. Paul Goldschmidt, come on down. You're going back home to where it all began. I feel like, he's in the twilight of his career these last couple of years. I've been going back to the Diamondbacks. Okay. Finish it out, finish his career, retire where it all began for him, as a Diamondback. Rhys Hoskins, welcome back home.
Oh my God.
I have him going back to Philadelphia.
Right.
I feel like, he was always a fan favorite there. I have him going back to Philadelphia, where it started there for him too. Josh Bell, go on back. You're going back to Pittsburgh. Yeah. It's going to, I feel like with Pittsburgh, they're, like we talked about, they're not going to make a big splash free agency. They're always going to promote from within and then dump them before they, become superstars. And then when they get washed up, bring them back. They did it with McCutchen. I think they're going to do it again here with Josh Bell. So Josh Bell's coming back home. And then Kazuma Okamoto. I think that Kurt Suzuki signing, or as manager, is going to come big into play. I see him coming to the Angels. He's going to pick the Angels to go to him.
Yeah, I like him going to the Angels. I mean, because that's not a big contract, but it's right. Low risk for them.
Yep.
Potentially high reward too, even though Okamoto's, I think, in his late 20s. So it's a guy that they can probably give a 2-year deal to, maybe a 3-year with an option after 2 or after 1 even.
Very angel friendly right there.
Very angel friendly. It's why you brought Kurt Suzuki in mostly.
Yep.
Steve, for me, Pete Alonso all the way. Come on. I mean, we both know, like you just said, I'm echoing everything you said. He's the face of the franchise, and technically he was their most consistent hitter, in my opinion, this year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's arguably coming off one of his better statistical seasons in terms of consistent hitting. 272 average, 38 dingers, 126 RBIs, 170 hits. I mean, yeah, he's not like a young buck anymore. He's 30 years old, but that's prime. That's a prime guy. And you don't let a guy like Pete Alonso walk. He's been a face of your franchise longer than Lindor, obviously longer than Soto. And you have these young pitchers coming in now that are with it. Tong, McLean, all those guys. you need to complement him with a steely-eyed veteran in somebody like Pete Alonso, who is, you're right, I mean, the face of the franchise. So I think he's going to stay with the Mets, Steve. Josh Naylor's kind of the same situation. I think there hasn't been a better performer of first baseman other than Freddie Freeman, maybe, in the postseason, other than Josh Naylor. You know, Seattle has to make a choice here. Do we want to keep Eugenio Suarez? Because they're not going to open up the checkbook and be like, we're just going to start paying everybody. They understood what they were when they were getting these one-year rentals. Josh Naylor is a guy who I think they love a lot. They like Eugenio Suarez. He's a clubhouse guy, but I think they really love Naylor. Naylor's young enough. Naylor, the productivity, it seems like his play has been up, and up, and I think it will continue to go up. You know what you're getting with a guy like this. This guy can get over 100 RBIs every season. He's going to hit anywhere from 250 all the way to 280 potentially, probably in the 260 range when it's all said and done. And he's no slouch in the bases, even though he's a big guy. Plays really, really hard. Another good clubhouse guy. I think the Mariners would love to keep Josh Naylor, and I think out of the people that they're losing this year, I think the Naylor's the guy they're going to go after hard. Ryan O'Hearn with the Guardians. They need another first baseman. I think Ryan O'Hearn proved what he can do. I think this is low risk, high reward for them because O'Hearn is coming off of kind of an all-star type season, or he was first half kind of all-star. So the Guardians getting O'Hearn's great. Luis Ariz, I really want him with the Tigers. He makes the most sense with the Tigers. Steve, I don't understand why teams pass up on this guy. They get him, and then he's expendable, right? From the Twins to the Marlins to the Padres. Why is he so expendable to people? He's a guy that sets the plate.
He's a hitter.
He sets the table. He gets on base. And the Tigers need guys that can get on base consistently. Like, even if you're not getting guys that are driving them in, you need a guy that can hit 280, 290, over 300. And Luis Ariz does do that. And he's not old. He's like 29 years old. So I think this is a no-brainer. And he's not expensive, right? He reminds me of a lot like Jeff McNeil with a lot more upside than Jeff McNeil has. So Luis Ariz, and he's not a liability. I mean, you can play him at first, you can DH him, you can play him at second, even though I wouldn't recommend playing him at second. I think he reminds me of, Rod Carew. A lot like Rod Carew.
Okay.
A lot like Rod Carew. But Luis Ariz, I predict him going to the Tigers.
Okay.
Paul Goldschmidt, at first I had him going to the Rockies, kind of like a low risk for them because they need more veteran leadership in the clubhouse. But I think the Rockies are even going to go lower tier than that because they're still on the Chris Bryant contract. They're still might have to think about paying their stars like Tovar and some of those guys in the future. I think Goldie's coming back to the Diamondbacks, just like you said. I think that's where he's going to end his career. That's where he made his name. That's where he's going to end up. Rhys Hoskins, I think the Brewers are going to move on from him just because even in this, I mean, he was still kind of injured and he didn't play every game, but at the same time, I think they know who they got with Rhys Hoskins. Another good clubhouse guy. He reminds me a lot of Sean Casey in this point in his career, but I think the Marlins would do really good with Rhys Hoskins' services. They need more veteran leadership. This is another guy. I think the Marlins are going to look for one-year deals. The Marlins have no free agents this year that are coming from their teams. So I think they're going to continue to do smaller deals instead of longer deals. Josh Bell. Okay. I have him going to the Diamondbacks because I think Paul Goldschmidt playing first base every day is unrealistic. I don't know where Pavin Smith fits into that, but Christian Walker being gone, he's an Astro, right? I think Josh Bell is going to step in and come back to the Diamondbacks on a smaller deal. Actually, a bigger deal because he hit, I think, like 30-something home runs, like 32 home runs. So Josh Bell coming back to Diamondbacks to either be a DH or a first baseman works so much for them. And I've always thought his consistency has been really underrated, Josh Bell. So, and then the big one for Japan, right? The Kazuma Akamoto. Let's get Buster Posey and the Giants. I think they're going to make a big bid.
Nice.
I think they're going to go up because I have a big free agent they're going to go after later in my predictions. That's not such a surprise. So they're not going to bust their nut on like a big time. They're not going to go after Murakami, who's the big show, the big guy to get the big prize. I think they're going to go low bid and they're going to win on a West Coast guy for sure. This guy is going to be a West Coast guy. I think no matter how you look at it. So Okamoto going to the Giants. Steve, second base, only got two. I had a bunch in there to begin with, but in reality, the best two free agents coming for second base will be Gleyber Torres and Jorge Polanco from Seattle. It used to be Seattle. So and Gleyber Torres from the Tigers. Steve, where's Torres and Polanco going?
Well, it's very shocking that so this would happen, but the Tigers, extended a qualifying offer to Gleyber Torres, so it just shows how interested that they were in bringing him back, right? Typical Tigers thing to do there. But I think he proved a lot in his first year there with the Tigers, and I could see a reunion here. I think he really liked playing here. He liked the team. He liked the management. He liked how things were going. So I see the Tigers actually bringing back Torres, and then for Jorge Polanco. There's something about it. It just says Toronto Blue Jays to me. I'm looking on Bovada at the World Series odds, and Toronto, even after being the runners up here, we talked about it, in our show last week. They've actually dropped in the odds. They only have the 7th best odds right now to win the World Series. So,
very nice.
They could use another bat in their lineup, and I think Jorge Polanco can provide that to him. So I have Polanco going to the Blue Jays.
Great pick. I'm going to do Gleyber with the Giants as well. I think this. Okay. I don't know if Gleyber's worth $100 million. I don't think he's going to get $100 million. I think he's going to be signing 2- and 3-year deals until he has that monster season. He started out the year. Remember, because the year when he started out with the Tigers, we're like, dude, this is a $100 million player. We're going to lose him in the offseason. And then he just kind of dwindled away, and he didn't help his future contract by kind of his bat disappearing in the postseason and at the end of the season. So I think Torres is a good player. But right now he comes across as kind of streaky. But he has youth on his side, and I think 1, 2, maybe tops 3-year deals work for him on low bid with an opt-out after 2 possibly. But Gleyber Torres going to the Giants. I think Buster Posey needs somebody next to Willy Adames, and I think Torres is a perfect guy. And Torres has consistency behind him. He can, but I think it depends who the hitting coach is. There's a variety of factors, but I think Tigers will try, but I think Torres will end up eventually signing with the Giants. Jorge Polanco, Cardinals. For me, they need somebody in the infield. They need a veteran in the infield because you got a lot of youth in the infield right now. And I don't know what they're going to do with Arenado in the offseason. So I really do think Jorge Polanco is a guy you can plug and play. And they're looking for that Tommy Edman guy, and Jorge Polanco is a guy that can come in and get you quality at bats. He's another table setter. He's a guy that gets you big hits in certain situations. I think he's like 31 years old or 32 years old. Not a bad player. Had a really good season with Seattle, but I think Seattle's okay letting him walk because they got people like Colt Emerson coming up, and they got youth behind him, and I don't think they're going to re-sign him. So the Cardinals, I think, are going to be my pick for them. For Jorge Polanco. Steve, the big one here coming up was shortstop. The biggest one of the market's Bo Bichette. Everyone knows it. Had a killer fucking year, especially late bloomer in postseason because he was injured. Comes back, does pretty good for the Toronto Blue Jays. Got him, and then you got Ha-Seong Kim coming back from the Braves. He's a free agent now. Steve, where do you have Bo Bichette and Ha-Seong Kim going?
Bo Bichette, I don't see any way that Toronto lets him walk, especially after what he had, what he did last season, and then even coming back into the World Series. He had a solid performance in the World Series. I see him, getting a contract extension, sticking around in Toronto, and then Ha-Seong Kim. This is a guy who, was sent over to the Braves and had a pretty solid second half of the season there. I think it's good enough to bring him back here, and I think that he rejoins the band and the Braves bring him back on a shorter contract. So again, I'm having welcome home people. It seems like I said this is like my trend for free agents. So I have Bichette heading back to the Blue Jays, and Kim, he's having a reunion with the Braves.
Yeah, the Braves make a lot of sense for him just because right now you only have Nick Allen in that spot. But I think they were a little disappointed by Ha-Seong's performance, his durability. And I think they're going to look eventually for a bigger hitter. I don't know if they're going to try to bring they have Shoemake and some of those guys coming up from their farm, but that's going to be interesting. But yeah, we'll start with Bichette for me. Toronto Blue Jays. I'm echoing what you said. The 1-2 punch is Vlad and Bo Bichette. I mean, that's how you drafted. That's how you brought them up in free agent or in development, and they've always been together. Bo Bichette earned a big contract. Steve, do you know what kind of contract? What kind of contract would you offer him?
Oh my gosh! I mean, obviously not Vlad money. I don't think. He should be. He's an everyday guy, but
200, 250 maybe.
I was gonna say 250 to 300.
Ooh, 300. Wow.
Yeah. So I'd go in that range, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's more in the 200 range.
I could see him in the 200 range. 300 might be a little expensive. I don't know if there's a team willing to pay that, unless the Yankees are like, fuck it, we need Volpe, the guy, and we're willing to do that. But yeah, I think the Blue Jays, it's in the not pay him what he wants, but I think you are going to end up paying the guy a good amount of money, especially probably higher AAV. So, or AVV. I always get that wrong. But I think you're going to pay him a lot a year. And you're going to have opt-outs like everything. But I think Bo Bichette is one of your faces of your franchise moving forward. So you really need to consider locking down him just like you did Vlad Jr. for years to come. So Blue Jays for sure. Ha-Seong Kim, the Reds. And the only reason because Ha-Seong Kim, his bat just disappears too much for me. He did good for the Padres, and then he comes later on for the Braves. And I just don't think he was the guy that they thought he'd be. Like I said, the Reds need a veteran guy, because when you have Marte, you have McLean, you have De La Cruz. That's your primary infield. You got maybe Spencer Steer at first, off and on, going in the outfield as well. But you need a veteran midfielder. And I think Ha-Seong Kim will give you some quality at bats, especially down the stretch. So the Reds make sense for me. Steve, maybe other than outfield, the biggest position and starting pitching. Maybe one of the bigger free agent classes in third base we've seen in a while. Alex Bregman, coming from the Red Sox, who opted out. Eugenio Suarez, a little older, but coming off probably his best season. Munetaka Moriaki. So it's Moriaki, who is maybe the next Ohtani, an infield Ohtani. And a guy that hasn't posted yet from the KBO, from the Korean League, but is looking sure that he might, so I'll put him in there just in case. Sungmun Song. Steve, where do you got these boys going?
Alex Bregman. I feel like we just talked about this last year. Oh, wait, we did. And get ready. It's going to happen this time. He's going to the Tigers.
Repeat.
It's going to be a repeat. You should have heard the rumors. Tigers still need a third base bat here, big time. They platooned a whole bunch of people at third base. And still couldn't really get it. It swung and missed, didn't get anything at the deadline. Once Bregman opted out from Boston, I feel like it's written in the stars here. So I think he's going to come and come to Detroit here. Suarez. This feels like an Angels move right here, right? All right, we're going to make a splash on a guy that's maybe a little bit past his prime, but hey, the name still looks good, right? I have him going to the Angels, try and boost a little offense, what's left of it, into their lineup there. And Munetaka Murakami, Seattle. I feel like this is a definite Seattle Mariners signing. I feel like they're, it's gonna, again, I'm going West Coast with the Japanese players here, so I'm gonna go him to Seattle. And then Sungmun Song, Giants. I feel like this is a great Giants. This is a great Giants signing. I don't know. I again, written into the universe is telling me these things. I feel like those last two would be good fits there. So those are my third baseman here. We're hoping Bregman, again, you should have heard the rumors, back to Detroit. Yeah.
Jung-Hoo Lee, was that why you got Song there?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe I'll name my fantasy team after him, and then he'll not perform for me for the season, and we can have a good time.
Oh, let's sing a song?
No, that would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Might sound a little racist, though. I don't know. Anyways.
Comment down below. All right.
Is it racist? Hit the balls.
Hit the balls. Oh, gosh.
Alex Bregman, Steve, I have my wish list going for the Tigers. Doubt he'll sign at the Tigers. I think the Tigers will probably, because they're going to be, Scott Harris overthinks it, and Scott Harris is like, hey, the going rate was 300 last year. No, you ain't getting that anymore.
God.
Even though Bregman had a pretty good year, was injured. I think they're going to use that in talks like, hey, you were injured last year. You're the X amount, you're in your 30s now. But the Tigers just make the most sense. They need a right-handed bat so bad at third base. Yeah. And just an everyday third baseman, too. And we've seen just how not having an everyday third baseman hurt the team. So, I got Bregman going to the Tigers. Eugenio Suarez coming off of his best power performance season. I just see the Cubs losing out on Kyle Tucker. Yeah, that's a spoiler alert. So I think Suarez would be a signing for them, kind of a lower tier signing for them. But if he can keep the same power numbers, that's a win for the Cubs. And if he can stay healthy, but I don't know what kind of contract he's going to want, because he only hit 228, but having almost 40 home runs and the amount of RBIs he had in the season with 118, 134 hits, he had a really great power season. And he's a good clubhouse guy. So I don't know. I mean, some people think he'll have like a 3-year, $72 million contract, and I don't know. I think he's going to want a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say what's going to end up happening here. But I'm going to have Eugenio Suarez to the Cubs because they're going to lose out on Tucker, and they need to shore up a kind of a bigger bat.
For sure.
Murakami. I think the Yankees are going to want to go after Kyle Tucker, but don't want to pay Kyle Tucker money. They're going to go after Kyle Schwarber, but I thought I heard that Kyle Schwarber doesn't like the Yankees. I don't know where I heard that from.
He does like the Yankees, Mike. No.
Yeah. Fuck the Yankees. No, yeah. I don't know. I think I heard that when he was younger. I don't know. But I know Philly's going to do everything possible to keep Kyle Schwarber, and I don't think the Yankees, they're going to spend a lot, but they don't want to like overspend. And I don't think that Oswaldo Cabrera was what they thought he was going to be. I think he's good, but I don't think he's great. And he's young. He's still learning. But to shore up that hot corner, and he can play first base, Murakami is the Yankees. And I think Murakami would love playing for a big team on the East Coast. So Murakami to the Yankees, and then Sung Song, I think the Angels. I think with Kurt Suzuki there, it brings in, kind of opens up an international pipeline. You get a guy that understands players because he was a former catcher. And I think a lot of these international signings will be coast players. They're going to be East and West Coast players, and Sung Song is no different. So I think the Angels, and I think that's a low risk for them because he's a little older as well. So I think he'll end up signing with the Angels. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good, man.
Going to the outfield. Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, Harrison Bader, Trent Grisham, Cedric Mullins, Mike Yastrzemski,
and a
Steve
partridge in a pear tree.
Where are they going?
Here we go. Kyle Tucker, obviously one of the biggest names on the free agent market. Big names. Where do they go? You guessed it. The Dodgers. The Dodgers always seem to have their mitts on even one big free agent splash. Seems like it happens every offseason, even when they're supposed to be quote unquote not spending.
Right.
They'll find a way to make it work.
They'll find a way.
Get Kyle Tucker in their outfield.
Yep.
Already on Bovada, odds-on favorites for World Series for next year at plus 325. That closest ones next would be the Yankees. They're going to find a way. They're going to pay Tucker. He's going to the Dodgers. Cody Bellinger? Yeah, right. Sticking with my theme here, I feel like they had a good thing going in New York. Right. A good partnership there. So I see them coming back together and bringing Yankees bringing Bellinger back. So I have him going to the Yankees. Harrison Bader, he just feels like a Cincinnati Red to me. I like a very, very scrappy player, good good clubhouse guy, good heart and soul of the team. Help give some more identity to the Reds. So I have him going to Cincinnati. Trent Grisham. You know what? Just throw a dart here. I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox. I feel like it would be a good fit there. Cedric Mullins. That's right. Going back home. He's going back to Baltimore. I feel like, yeah. I know. Stop the presses. Am I right?
You heard it here first.
You
fucking believe it, gents.
He's a great career in Baltimore. Obviously they cut bait there this past season with everything going south. I have him going back home to Baltimore. Mike Yastrzemski, something about this says it's a Pittsburgh Pirates-like signing right here.
It does.
Not like a big name guy, but a guy he's got a lot of namesmanship in that last name. I see that in Pittsburgh there. He had a obviously a good time there. Good start to his career with the Giants. Then moved on to Kansas City there. Trade deadline. I feel like he's going to go to Pittsburgh and see what happens for him there. But yeah, that's my outfield picks.
You were so true. That sounds like
doesn't it?
The fact that he's not that I didn't predict him to go to the Pirates. Now I'm almost pissed off I didn't, because that's not the Pirates move. But I gotta stick with what I put it. That's another thing, guys. Once Steve and I lock, that's it. There's so many times where it's like, God, if I just changed it, I would have had it. But once it's locked in, I think we tied last year, didn't we?
Dude, we did, but did we tie with 2?
Yeah, no, yeah,
or like
right.
4.
Oh yeah, that's another thing for you listeners. Steve and I don't get a lot of these right. So
no, you don't.
If you're on Bovada betting, don't go off of us.
Don't do it.
We don't do any of it right, dude. We're not.
If you're looking at the odds here between me, Mike, and the field, just go with the field, all right?
Go with the field. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't say, we're like Evel Knievel. We just do the attempt. Whether it works out or not, it's out of our control.
Yep. Bingo.
Okay, man. Kyle Tucker, Phillies are going to push hard. I think they were so mad at Nick Castellanos last year. They're going to probably kick him to the curb pretty bad, trade him.
Yeah.
They're going to bring in Kyle Tucker, and he's a fail-safe. Whether they sign Kyle Schwarber or not, he's a fail-safe because it instantly puts a guy in the outfield. Kyle Schwarber doesn't play really outfield anymore. He's just kind of like an all-time DH. So, and then the days that he's in the lineup and then Bryce Harper decides to be a DH, they can mix it up. But I really do think Dombrowski's going to do. This is the last hurrah of the Phillies. Yes, you're hearing it now. The last hurrah of the Phillies.
Stop the presses,
dude. They got like 3 years to make something happen, just maybe 2, because I don't know. Dombrowski's gonna throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And with Kyle Tucker, I think that's a signing that puts an instant power bat in your lineup, because before, when Harper went cold, Trey Turner went cold, Casty went cold, it was Brandon Marsh that was fucking being their best hitter. They can't have Brandon Marsh being their best hitter. They can't. So Kyle Tucker, especially a guy that you're not paying like that kind of money. And Kyle Tucker, I think, would be a great fit for Phillies. I don't know. I think he's going to be out of the price range of the Cubs, who are going to stick to the cheap until their guys develop a little bit more, and then they can start and then they pay some of their in-house guys. Then they'll kind of go out and get big time free agents and kind of get off the Eugenio Suarez train. But I really do think they're going to let Kyle Tucker walk, because Kyle Tucker wants a lot of money, and I think the Phillies are perfect for him. Cody Bellinger to the Giants. And I really want to keep him on the Yankees, but with the Murakami signing, and for them, I think they're going to try to get their heads in the clouds with Kyle Tucker too much, and maybe a couple of these starting pitchers. Because let's face it, I mean, they have good front rotation guys, but their back rotation guys can be suspect. So I really do think Cody Bellinger, this is an excuse for him going back to the West Coast. He's a West Coast guy. When it didn't work out with the Dodgers, even though he was amazing with the Dodgers, and then the last 3 years he just sucked ass with them. Right. So they cut ties with them. I think him going to San Francisco, it gets him back on the West Coast, and I think that's where he wants to be. And for them, I mean, getting people like Torres and who else did I have them going? Torres, and I think that's the only one so far. And some of these guys, I really think Buster Posey's going to kind of do a masterclass in this offseason. I'm betting on him to have a kind of a masterclass in this offseason to kind of take that next step. So, Cody Bellinger to the Giants. Harrison Bader, I think it's a Giants move. It's not too high. No. I think they're going to keep the team that they have and then just plug some pieces. I think they're going to look to pitching more this offseason because they kind of already have the bats in place with Teoscar and some of those like lower name guys. I think Max Muncy has I think he accepted their qualifying offer, so he's returning. For them, it's just they want to get guys who can hit good, but with Anthony Pagas and some of these guys in there, I don't think there's really a threat or a need to sit there and like go big. That like Kyle Tucker big. I just don't feel like they need to spend that much money when they already got these guys in house. So Harrison Bader to the Dodgers is a good off day guy. Teoscar's out or Pagas is out or in a slump, you just throw Harrison Bader right in there. Trent Grisham with the Yankees. I think he's one of the better hitters on that team he was this year, and they'd be stupid not to sign him because Trent Grisham isn't like he's 29 years old, coming off arguably is one of his best seasons. Didn't love that he hit 235, but come on, 34 home runs, 74 RBIs, 116 hits. The guy was getting on base and was the ultimate table setter and run producer for the Yankees. So if you can't sign any of these bigger free agents, at least you get a guy you know can help you and every day in your lineup. So Grisham back to the Yankees. I'm going to go with Cedric Mullins staying in the Midwest. He's going to go with the Guardians. Guardians need another guy out there. Big Christmas, Stephen Kwan. You got some of those other guys, but they've had Miles Straw in the past, and I know they have some younger guys coming up. But I think they need a good veteran bat in the outfield to get still. I think that always works for them. Cedric Mullins to the Guardians just makes so much sense. And Mike Yastrzemski, wish you would have picked the Pirates. I have him going to the Orioles. Such a lateral move, I mean, because he's coming. I mean, where do you go? Giants, and then he got traded. Royals. I can see the Royals re-signing him, but I think he's going to stick to the East. I think he's going to be a coast guy, East Coast, West Coast guy. Orioles just make a lot of sense, even though they got Colton Cowser and they got Dylan Beaver coming up. I think there's not going to be room for Mike Yastrzemski, but we don't know what the Orioles are going to be, this new iteration of them, because we thought we knew who they were a couple years ago, but now we don't. So that's where I'm going. So, Okay. Moving over to DH, Steve, Kyle Schwarber. Okay. Marcell Ozuna's back on the market. And Andrew McCutchen. You got a lot of some veteran guys here in the DH, but run producers. So, Steve, where do you have your DHs going?
Kyle Schwarber, welcome back home. I think the Phillies are going to pony up. I mean, the guy, he's a Philly through and through. I think, Dave Dombrowski's going to find Philly for life. Yeah. Phillies. Dave Dombrowski will find a way to pay him. So I think he's going to go back to Philadelphia. Marcell Ozuna. Again, I feel that fit there in Atlanta. They need some pops, in their lineup there. So I have him going back to the Braves and Andrew McCutchen. Remember that magical run that 1 year that he had with the Giants there?
Yeah,
where they dangled him out for half a season and then they
traded him to the
Yankees. He's coming back. All right, Buster Posey's bringing you back home. So I have Andrew McCutchen going to the Giants. So
nice.
Those are my three moves at DH.
Yeah, short and sweet. I think Kyle wants to stay with the Phillies. He's their best run getter. He just brings in a lot of runs, and they need more of that. So Schwarber to the Phillies makes the most sense. Having the Phillies sign Tucker and Schwarber, that'd be like a dream package for Dombrowski. I doubt it's going to happen, but I think Kyle Schwarber gets the priority over Kyle Tucker. So if anything, I think that will be the easy one. Marcell Ozuna, he's hopped around a little bit, but I think his next stop is going to be an East Coast team, and I think it's the Red Sox. Red Sox need another guy. Remember, they traded away Devers. They haven't really found a power guy to replace him. They have Jarren Duran and some of those, but Jarren Duran's power numbers were down last year, which makes him a trade candidate potentially. So I think Ozuna adds some more power in there. Yeah, he can't play 162 games, but even if half that, I think he'll give you some pretty good numbers. So Marcell Ozuna to the Red Sox. And Andrew McCutchen, I think the Pirates want to keep him, but they're also got to be realistic of where they need their team to go. And I think McCutchen at this point, he's just that aging veteran who will give you a couple good at-bats here and there. But McCutchen's through and through a Midwest guy. And I think Francona would love his leadership with the Reds. It's a low-risk, probably mid-reward for them. McCutchen to the Reds, that's what I got,
Okay.
Starting pitcher, Steve. A lot of good starting pitchers.
Yep.
I couldn't list them all, so I took the top ones. Buckle up. Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez from the Astros, Ranger Suarez from the Phillies, Chris Bassett coming from the Toronto Blue Jays, Michael King arguably could be the best guy in this class. Shota Imanaga, who people were so surprised he decided to opt out of his Cubs deal, which would tell you where the Cubs are in their process. Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, had to put them in because they're aging stars. Brendan Woodruff, Zach Lytle, who's sneaky good, and Tatsuya Imai. What do you got, Steve?
Oh, boy. All right.
I know, it's tough.
Big starting pitching class here. Dylan Cease, just didn't seem to really get that fit in San Diego like we thought, thought that he was. I think he's going from the West Coast to the East Coast, having signing with the Boston Red Sox.
Nice.
Framber Valdez, I have him leaving the Astros, and we talked about in the World Series with with the Blue Jays, it came down to pitching and hodgepodging it together, and they could really use a splash with a higher end starting pitcher. So I'm going with Valdez over to the Blue Jays. Ranger Suarez, I'm taking a chance here. Had a great season there with the Phillies. I'm actually having him go to Chicago, trying to fill the role that Imanaga left when he decided to leave Chicago. So I have Suarez to the Cubs. Chris Bassett, I have him going for staying in the AL East, but actually moving over to the Yankees. I think the Yankees could use a little more pitching help. Again, great top of the rotation for the Yankees, but could use some help near the near the bottom there. So I have Bassett going to the Yankees. Michael King, like you said, Great season in San Diego, kind of derailed a little bit by injuries, but when he's on, he's a fantastic pitcher. With Valdez leaving, I have actually Michael King going to the Astros. Shota Imanaga, the Braves need a lot of pitching help. That was one of their big Achilles heels, among other things, this past season. I have Imanaga actually going to Atlanta. Zach Gallen, again, it just feels like an Angel signing here. So, going to the guy, kind of been up and down, solid starter. Angels definitely need some help with pitching. So I'm going to go Zach Gallen to the Angels. Merrill Kelly, I'm going to the Texas Rangers there. I feel like he'd be a good fit there. Justin Verlander, said it for a few years. Welcome back home. Finish out the career. We're hoping. We said it with Paul Goldschmidt earlier here in the free agents going back to Arizona. I just feel like at this point at the twilight, this would just be a good fit here to help mentor the younger pitchers here. And you don't know what's going to happen with Skubal here, so definitely could use that mentoring and just that Verlander back in the rotation. Scherzer, I have him going to the Giants. I feel like he'd be a good fit there in San Francisco. Brandon Woodruff, your time in Milwaukee is over, but I have you going to the Miami Marlins there. I feel like, like you said, Marlins don't really have any free agents, so they bring some people in here, see what they can do. I like it. Zach Little, Angels. Again, he's sneaky good. I feel like he'd be a good fit with the Angels. And Tatsuya Imai, Imai going to the Yankees? Yes, he is. I have him a good fit there in New York. So those are my starters and where they're going.
Well, let me rattle off what I got for you.
All right.
Mets need another guy in there. They need. I actually love the future of their rotation, but that they're determined now to get a World Series bid. Christ, get a fucking playoff bid, for God's sake.
I was going to say, I'll get to the playoffs, please. All right.
Let's start there. Dylan Cease to the Mets.
Okay.
I didn't think Cease had a great season, but I know he's a big name because he has a power arm. So the Mets, I really like this fit there, and they'll pay a lot to get him. So Mets, Cease to the Mets. Framber Valdez, I think the Astros are okay with letting him walk. I think they value Hunter Brown more than they value Valdez, because Valdez he's not an old guy, but he's in his 30s. No. Valdez is a gamer, man. But I think the Giants are going to sign him. I think that's a perfect move for them, kind of like a late career Johnny Cueto move when they did the Cueto move years back. So, and Valdez gets you outs. He comes in, he throws strikes, he does his job, and that's what you're hoping for him. And he's not that old, so I think Valdez makes a sense for the Giants. Ranger Suarez, sneakily one of the better pitchers, I think, in this free agents class. And the Padres, I don't know what they're going to do with Nick Pivetta, and we know Yu Darvish is out for the season, and Michael King's probably gone, and Cease, all that. I mean, we don't know a lot, but we do know they're going to try to get some competent pitchers in there, and I think Suarez could be one of the sneakiest signings of all of free agency. So the Padres getting Ranger Suarez from the Phillies. Chris Bassett, I think there's going to be people like the Brewers going to want him, the Cardinals are going to want him, but I think eventually Francona would love to have him, adding on to the Hunter Green, Brady Singer, Andrew Abbott rotation. Chris Bassett, good veteran leader. Yeah, he's going to go to the Reds. Michael King to the Cubs. I think they're going to rest their hat on it. They're like, yeah, fuck it. Chaga's gone. Fuck it. We upped it. We're resting our hat on Michael King. And I think with them losing Kyle Tucker and not being in the Bellinger pool anymore, I think they're going to be like, well, but see, we got Michael King. Even though that's it's like, okay, Michael King, wow.
Ooh.
Yes, hold the presses, so.
I was going to say, get the parade float started, right? All right, cool.
Yeah, it's like, it's Michael King. It's Paul Skeens. Shota Imanaga, Yankees. I think the Yankees are going to come in and scoop him. They get their guy. Zach Gallen to the Diamondbacks. I think he's going to re-sign. They know that he's their ace. They know that's a guy that they're always kind of like when they had Randy Johnson. This is their guy, and they got to pay their guy. Bad season, not a good season at all.
Terrible season.
They got to figure it out. Maybe they already know why he had a bad season. I think he was injured and pitching a little bit, and I think he was trying to do a little too much. But Zach Gallen is still a great pitcher, so I think Zach Gallen back to the Diamondbacks. Merrill Kelly to the Angels. It's an Angels move. Let's sign a veteran guy who had flashes here and there. Yep. It's an Angels move. Justin Verlander, I'm holding that support, man. I'm holding my sign out. I'm starting my campaign. Let's get Verlander back to the Tigers.
Do it.
It probably won't happen. He was there for the taking last year in a trade. Obviously, nobody
said he'd be open to making a deal, and the Tigers still wouldn't do it. Yeah,
it's like that girl. It's like that girl who gives you every sign to kiss her, and you don't kiss her,
and you still do. Yeah,
because you overthink it. And I think that's what the Tigers will do, and he'll miss out. But watch the Astros go in and fucking swoop him back in.
God.
Verlander, the Tigers. I got Justin Verlander to the Red Sox. I just think they need more help. They have a lot of good young pitchers, but they also need help. And I think you need veteran arms in any staff. And I think Max Scherzer's that guy. I think Toronto would like to keep him, so I could even actually see him staying in Toronto because Max Scherzer said him and his family really do love Toronto. But and it's not a money thing. It's just where does the Blue Jays want to go? Are they going to go youth, right? Because, I mean, Trey Savage is their guy. I mean, that's going to be their main guy going forward with Shane Bieber. So what is Max Scherzer? Is he a reliever? Is he going to be a back-end starter? What is he? And I think the Red Sox are willing to take a gamble on that because he comes cheap. Brandon Woodruff to the Cubs. I think if you shore your rotation up with King and Woodruff, the Shota Imanaga sting of him leaving, it won't feel so bad. And I think Woodruff is really good. It's just if he stays healthy. So I have Woodruff going to the Cubs, sticking into the NL Central division. The other pitcher I mentioned, who is the sneaky best pitcher in this free agent class, I think it's Zach Lytle. I think people aren't giving Zach Lytle enough credit. I think he was with the right team, but I also think that the Orioles should consider boosting their rotation. They need a guy. They made it obvious they're not going to spend big money on a free agent. Okay, that's fine. Go in, get a Ranger Suarez, right? You get a Brandon Woodruff. These guys aren't going to cost you a lot. Even a Merrill Kelly. You guys need to influx your staff. Grayson Rodriguez can't stay healthy. Your best pitcher, Kyle Bradish, and some of those guys, they're good, but they're middle rotation, end rotation guys. I think Zach Lytle comes in and actually does pretty good for this team. I think Orioles get on it between him and Ranger Suarez, maybe even Chris Bassett, you know? Tetsuya, Red Sox. I think it's between that Red Sox or Yankees. Like I said earlier, it's a coast team that these guys are going to sign with because the money's there and they want the notoriety. A lot of these guys don't go Midwest teams or teams that aren't really thought of much because they're big time players at home, so they want big, they look at the lights, right? And I think the money will be there first and foremost. So the Red Sox will sign MI. Big time to round out a free agent prediction show. We're going with the relievers. I think this is just as big as the outfielders, just as big as the starters this year. Edwin Diaz, Robert Suarez, Raciel Iglesias, Ryan Helsley, Devin Williams, Tyler Rogers, Sean Armstrong, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Michael Kopech, Kenley Jansen, and Pete Fairbanks. There is a plethora of great relievers this year. Teams who need reliever help, it's there. And I didn't even list all the great. I mean, these are just half the good ones. So, Steve, take us down your list, man. Where are these guys going to round out our show?
Edwin Diaz. He's got a good thing going in New York. You know, like Mike talked about, New York wants a World Series bad. Hell, like we said, just make the playoffs. And I don't think they're going to do it without this closer. He's been just that good. Edwin Diaz, I think, re-signs with the Mets. Robert Suarez, team I haven't talked about here in free agent signing. Get ready. He's going to go to the Athletics.
Great signing.
The Athletics always seems like they, throw a little sign. Like last year, I think it was Quintana. Like all of a sudden, it's a name like, I didn't think about that. Going to the Athletics. I feel like this would be an Athletics-like move right there. So Robert Suarez to the Athletics. Raciel Iglesias, I have him going to the Angels. Again, I mean, I'm seeing the Angels
making some moves.
I was going to say, I have the Angels making some moves, which is why when you're placing bets, don't place. It's usually take the field on this. This is really just me, speculating here. I do have the Angels making some moves, so
you have their GM actually working.
Well, we all jury's still going to be out on that one, so we'll see. Ryan Helsley, I have him going to Chicago, the Cubs. That is, I feel like he'd be a good fit there. Devin Williams did great for the Yankees. This past season, I have the Yankees re-signing him. Tyler Rogers, look out here. Tigers always seem to get a little something here to get bolster the bullpen. You know how much AJ Hinch loves that bullpen. So sneaky move here. Tyler Rogers going to the Tigers.
Wow, Big name.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know. Buckle up. It might happen. Scott Harris, if not, you should have heard the rumors. Sean Armstrong, I have him going to the Houston Astros to bolster up their bullpen. Sir Anthony Dominguez, I just love that name, by the way.
I do too.
I have him going to the Mets. Michael Kopech, the White Sox have got to do something, right? All right, so I have them signing on Michael Kopech. Kenley Jansen, stick with my with my trends here. Welcome back home. Kenley's going back to the Dodgers.
Wow.
Kind of finish things. I was kind of in the twilight here. Kind of rekindle that old flame there. So I have him going back to the Dodgers, and then Pete Fairbanks, I have him going to the Marlins.
It's funny. You and I haven't talked a lot about the Rays signing anybody, and I think they're going to do a lot of in-house moves. I think it's going to be low risk, high reward, and guys they could turn a profit for at the deadline. And
for sure, it's the Rays way.
And I think with the fact that a lot of they used to have one of the better prospect, one of the best farm systems in baseball, and you're seeing a lot of that happen, right? You're seeing with Junior Caminero and them. So I think they're going to build in-house a little bit more, so that you're probably not going to see them in this big. We could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to be heavy buyers.
Right.
Edwin Diaz, they risked everything to get Edwin Diaz years back. Yeah. They're not going to let him walk, and who's going to replace him, right? So Edwin Diaz with the Mets. I think he's going to stay with the Mets. Robert Suarez, the Padres would be dumb to let Edward Suarez walk or Robert Suarez walk. The problem with that is he's going to want more money because I think he's like 34, 36 or something like that. He's in his mid-30s. He would be smart, the Suarez camp would be smart, saying, I'm trying to set my family up for life now. It's time to get paid end career Mariano Rivera money. And I think that's what he's going to want. And I think the Padres should dish it out because he was their lone guy in the back end who was just shutting down guys left and right.
Yep.
I mean, he was he was their best relief pitcher. I mean, you could always count on Robert Suarez. So I think the Padres signing Suarez would make a world of difference. Raciel Iglesias, I think he's going to stay with the Braves.
Okay.
Right? I mean, because the Braves, I don't think they're going to be heavy buyers at the deadline or at the free agency, just because they're trying to figure out what their team is. Right? They're trying to figure out what team do we have here, especially under new leadership with that limp dick move of a manager hire. But you got to keep the starters in house. You got to keep the guys that were doing good in house, and that's Raciel Iglesias for me.
Walt Weiss is great, right?
Insane, dude. Sounds like a good author name, but manager, that's such a oh my god. Yeah. They went shopping for the Colorado Rockies strategy there. So.
Oh god.
Ryan Helsley, pretty good year for the most part. It seemed a little clunky out of the gate when he got traded from the Cardinals, but I really do think that the Giants sign him. Remember, they lost the Rodgers last year. They lost some guys. I think they're going to have, I think, an incredible offseason. So look out for them. Ryan Helsley going with the Giants. Devin Williams, up and down year, was a stud coming out of Milwaukee. Didn't quite work out with the Yankees, but the Yankees actually still really like this guy. Yeah. I think he just had a bad year, but I think the Blue Jays swoop in and snag him. I think with them losing Sir Anthony Dominguez if they don't resign him, and I think they noticed as the season went, you got to keep a strong bullpen, and your best teams know that. And I think the Blue Jays might have figured that out. So I have Devin Williams going to the Blue Jays. Tyler Rogers with the Mets. Mets are going to shore up that bullpen with Tyler Rogers. Makes a lot of sense for them. Sean Armstrong to the Astros. Makes sense. I think Sean's coming from the Blue Jays. They need a strong arm guy. They need a guy that you can just rely on. He could also get you saves. Sean Armstrong makes a world of difference, especially when you have Josh Hader and you need guys to just help bolster, right? Help bolster. And Sir Anthony Dominguez, Brewers. I think if Brewers are going to make any decisions this year, it's going to be in their rotation. Their young core is they're hitting. They can all hit pretty decent. They're just going to get better and better, but you need to complement that with pitching, and that starts with your bullpen. So Sir Anthony Dominguez with the Brewers. Michael Kopech, got a guy that throws heat, but throws a lot of balls. Sounds like National to me.
Oh, God. Right on.
He's going to the Nationals. Kenley Jansen. Orioles, if Orioles are smart, they would solidify their bullpen with a back-end guy. since the best since they had since Bautista. I think Kenley Jansen would be amazing. And then Pete Fairbanks, Dodgers. Yeah, Dodgers are going to do something when it comes to their bullpen. I think they're actually good in their lineup. And I think they're going to be focusing on replacing Clayton Kershaw. I think they're going to solidify their rotation more, and they're going to solidify their relievers more. And Pete Fairbanks from the Rays is a hell of a start. So Pete Fairbanks to the Dodgers.
Go. That rounds out our list. Lock it in, Mike.
Lock it in.
Yep. It's in. So
that's our free predictions, man. We're probably going to get most of them wrong.
Hey, that's okay. We're used to that. But that's fine. It's part of the fun, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. With that, shall we head on over to Collection Corner?
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah.
All right. This week, my guy, you should be able to get him. He's kind of great on the base paths. He's from Florida originally, Boynton Beach. He's around 32 years old. Hits right, throws right. Started his career with the Washington Nationals. Okay. It's a good-looking card for the most part. He still plays, so I'm not going to give you his stats, but he does have a .297 career batting average. So he's a guy that can get on base, move over. Stolen base machine. World Series winner, 3-time All-Star, all MLB first team, 2-time NL batting champion, 2-time NL stolen base leader as well. He was selected in the 20th round by the Pirates in the 2011 Major League Draft, but he said, fuck it, I'm going to NC State to play college baseball. And then later on, the Washington Nationals said, fuck it, we're going to draft this guy 2 years later in the first round of the 2014 draft, 13 overall selection. And he has played for the Nationals. He has played for the Dodgers. And then he signed a big deal with the Phillies. Who am I talking about?
Man, really, you know what? It's probably my guy that I drafted in the first round a couple years back in fantasy, and he crashed and burned on me like a you got tossed aside like a used condom. I'm going to go with Trey Turner.
Yes, Trey Turner.
There's Trey Turner. All right, good old Trey Turner.
Talked about him earlier. Really a good shortstop. He had some great years in Washington, and he's a World Series champ. He's looking to get that, that magic with the Phillies going. Remember, he started out really bad. That's when you had him in fantasy, and seems like he turned it around. But the guy's in his early 30s, so we're seeing a different iteration of his career kind of blossoming. Because when he went to the Phillies, he was, power. He was good on both. He hit ability. He was a 5-tool player. He was literally a 5-tool player. Now maybe a 3-tool player. I dug in and I picked up a Topps 2025 Chrome Refractor. Good looking card. I'll probably put it on one of our, when I edit and you see the thing, it will be on one of our sides. I'll see the card. Nice. So, Trey Turner is my pick for the week.
Okay. Mine, you should be able to get. This is a guy who had a lot of hype, kind of flamed out like a bad turd. He was a guy selected in the first round of the 2016 MLB draft with the 11th pick overall by the Seattle Mariners. He was also a 2016 Golden Spikes Award winner.
I already know who.
No, you already know.
Really well. Go ahead.
Made his debut with the Mariners in 2019. Lived up to that hype with a fantastic AL Rookie of the Year campaign in 2020, and then miraculously took massive amounts of craps afterwards, just because he couldn't stay healthy. 2021 had some injuries there. 2022 he got in concussion protocol and wasn't struggling mightily and dealing with knee issues, so he got demoted, and then that ended his career with Seattle, and then he pittered out with the Diamondbacks and has been out of baseball now since 2023.
Man,
what I'm talking about.
What happened to Kyle Lewis?
It is Kyle Lewis.
Dude, what happened to Kyle Lewis? Yeah. Like, was he on drugs? Like, what? Dude.
I don't know. Dude.
The drop-off was real, but you tell me you couldn't come back from that?
Yeah.
Especially when you had a great start to your career? Insane, bro.
.235 career batting average, 26 home runs, 59 RBIs. A lot of people believed he could be the next Ken Griffey Jr. and
I believe
what happened, right? Card that I have, which I can probably use as toilet paper, is my 2021 Topps 1986 variation of that Topps relic card. Which when I got it, I was like, this card is great. Kyle Lewis, reigning Rookie of the Year, and now it's not going for much money at all. So
yeah. Well, hey, good for you for bringing back Kyle Lewis somehow, some way.
Hey, you know what? Some way, somehow, he can make an appearance, right?
Good for you.
You know, Kyle Lewis, his dream still lives on with us, right?
Yeah, the memory of Kyle Lewis. Might even be a forgotten series guy one day.
Oh my gosh! Well, we'd have about 2 minutes on him because he had like one good season. So, you know, with that, shall we get the candles out and celebrate a birthday?
Let's do it.
All right. Looking back at this guy, one of my favorite cards, looking at cards that were produced by him, would be his 1933 Gaudy card number 117. So it's none other than a happy heavenly birthday to Braves great Hall of Famer Rabbit Moranville. Great nickname right there.
Love that
first
guy.
name Rabbit, nickname or first name Walter, nickname Rabbit. Rabbit Moranville, born on November the 11th of 1891. Career. Let me read off some stats here. This guy was not Veterans Committee, though, Mike. He actually got elected on his own merit, mostly because of his defense. 258 career average, 2,605 career hits, 28 home runs, 884 RBIs. Started out his career with the Boston Braves, moved on to the Pittsburgh Pirates, Chicago Cubs, Brooklyn Robins, St. Louis Cardinals, and then back with the Boston Braves. He also was a player manager in 1925 with the Chicago Cubs. Apparently, he was a bit of a practical jokester and, would play jokes. And his one rule while managing the Cubs was the players could not go to bed until he went to bed. So one time he caught players sleeping and he poured water on them. And basically was like, no one goes to bed before Moranville. And then I guess...
nobody goes to bed before Moranville.
And then I guess at one point the Cubs were off to a 23-30 start while he was player manager, and outside of Ebbets Field he was pretending to be a newspaper boy, and he's like, extra Cubs fire Moranville, and the Cubs did that the next day.
What a cock.
I know, right? Elected to baseball's Hall of Fame in his 14th ballot in 1954.
Nice.
At the time of his retirement, 1935, he had played in a record 23 seasons in the National League, a mark which was not broken until 1986 by Pete Rose.
Pete Rose, yeah, Robert Moranville. Yep. I know him. I knew of him pretty well.
Yeah.
Interesting
so
player.
There you go.
Didn't know he was a cock, but hey.
Yeah, very much a jokester. Yes. Yeah, so there you go.
Well, happy birthday, you son of a bitch.
There you go. Whew. Well, man.
That's a fucking show.
Good show.
Good show, man. Long show. This is one of our longer shows in a while.
It is usually, the prediction shows usually are one of our longer ones here.
Yeah, free agent predictions and season predictions, usually pretty long. And the Long Gone Awards.
Fun one, too.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Long.
It's a long one.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Be a bud, tell a bud. Listen, we were looking at the numbers. We can do better. No, we were looking at the numbers.
We can do better. It's all thanks to viewers like you, or supporters like you. All right.
Oh, that's PBS, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Wow, fucking call out. We look at the numbers. You guys, thanks so much for listening. If you haven't already, get on there, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe again, and just thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. But, in the coming weeks, I mean, we're going to be free agents. We're going to keep on talking to free agents. We're going to keep talking news. We're going to have some more guests coming on, which we promised. Now that we're in the off season, we're kind of recording the show a little bit and kind of figuring out. You're probably going to see a lot of new stuff on the show, so get ready. But we're going to still the same. We're going to always be the same, but we're evolving, which is good.
Yes, that's important.
So with video, even look at us with video.
Yeah. I'm going to update my Kramer for next week, so be ready for that. All right.
Yeah, exactly. I
won't look like a grainy son of a bitch. So there you go.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Steve's back in time in the '90s when they first came out with a webcam.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a throwback with the background picture with the wood paneling and stuff. I really wanted to get that retro look. So
yeah, mind you, that background is of his man cave, which I mean, you listen, if you watch my documentary, you can see his man cave a little bit. Don't do it any justice. His man cave is fucking awesome. Like, you got to see this. He sent me some Stranger Things. You got some Stranger Things cereal. And
the cereals came out, the retro box.
Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah, I've been evolving my Stranger Things collection here. They had some Target exclusive figures that came out too that I picked up. So
incredible, dude. But hey, guys, in the meantime, we'll get out of here. Tune back in next week. Love you guys so much. But have a great week, and we will catch you guys all next week.
Deuces.